questions that people might have. So we launched Building a Culture of Generosity last year under a different name. It was Beginning a Culture of Generosity last year. And we learned that people didn't like to be referred to as beginners. And so we changed it to Building a Culture of Generosity. But I could keep the initials the same. And so that made my life easier. And we did it, 3 bishops. It started with a conversation with a bishop in the Midwest, and subsequently talked to a couple others who said they were just worried that congregations would forego a stewardship appeal in the midst of a pandemic, and asked if we could. We've got a larger year-round program, Stewardship for All Seasons, that is incredibly in depth, and it's a commitment to be part of. And I mean, it goes well beyond just the fall stewardship drive. And so we did create just a fall drive appeal for people. But because of the kind of people we are, we also added year-end giving to it. And there's a little bit of plan giving woven in as well, because I can't talk to people who care about stewardship and not talk about plan giving today. But it's primarily designed to get you through the fall appeal. And it's designed to make your life a bit easier. I feel like I've created about 2/3 of the content that you need. And then the other third is you personalizing it and adding your local story to it. Because if to get to a gift, we need to inform, inspire, ask, and thank. I can inform, I can sort of ask on your behalf, but I can't inspire, because the inspiration is what God's up to in your place. And I can do the thank piece as far as at least a pretty good template. But even on some of the inspiration pieces, I at least give a sample. Like, one of the key things I think we need to be doing more of in our culture is sharing our own generosity stories. So I wrote mine as if it was a newsletter article. Now, I wouldn't publish that because your people don't know me. It's not going to do much for them, but it's designed for you as a template for implementation then. And so you got somebody else coming in, Patty, you got that?
I got them, yeah.
And so the way we organize it, we've got a website that you get access to that has a full document library, and from the very beginning, all the documents will be there. I'm trying my best to get them all done this week, but it's going to be next week till I'm finished. I'm pretty confident now. But I'm redoing everything from last year. All the documents will be fresh and new. My generosity story, I think, is still going to be there, but anyway, so that's there. And then there's a video library. There's 9 videos. We reshot 7 of them this year. And so it's not that we're just regurgitating last year's program. We're making it fresh, and it's there. And the way we like to work is we will have 6 scheduled Zoom sessions throughout the fall, starting in August, ending in late November. But the 6 sessions aren't designed for me to be just teaching. It's designed to be interactive with what's going on. And so you can watch, there'll be videos to watch prior to the Zoom session, and then we have our time together. Each time each of the 6 Zoom sessions will be offered at least 3 different times. There'll be a morning, there'll be an afternoon, there'll be an evening, and then depending on how many people I get to sign up, there may be multiple days of it. My goal is not to have 100 people on a Zoom. My goal is that we spread it out enough that we are able to have a dialogue and communicate throughout the time together. Also, anybody involved, after each session, I send an email follow-up that includes the video link to the Zoom that we did. But it also includes a link to my calendar. So if you need 15 or 30 minutes with me just to talk about your situation, you click the link and you schedule yourself with me, and I magically appear to have a one-on-one conversation with you in a format just like this. So you do get access to me a little bit more personal than just the large group, if you want that to help put this into context of your own place. I highly encourage that at least one layperson along with the pastor attend the 6 Zooms. The rest of the committee can watch the videos and kind of be up to speed on what's going on. This year, there will be a couple videos that will be a little bit more designed to share with the congregation. We've created an animated short. I've got the first two kind of already post-production that we can share to some of those topics, you know, that it's a little awkward for real life people to talk about, like, you know, the fact that somebody died and we have to replace their giving. It's just a lot more fun when you have an animated character to talk about that. So there will be a few things like that different this year, Patty, that we're able to offer.
Wonderful.
When we launched this program last year, my hope was that congregations would grow by at least 5% in revenue by being part of this program. And I don't have scientific data, and it was a year of COVID. I don't think scientific data would really exist for what we lived through last year, but I think we exceeded that. I think the average congregation grew by more than 5% in revenue by being part of this. There were certainly some, you know, extenuating factors in some of that, but we had congregations that got that received records of record levels of intent cards back, which didn't happen automatically last year. And so some of the things we were able to coach and pay attention to during the year itself, I think were really helpful. You know, we launched this in COVID because people needed to make sure they had a stewardship drive. We're thinking this fall is going to be harder than last fall. Just as I sorry to break that to anybody, but as you're relaunching, you know, faith formation, and you don't have any returning teachers because nobody taught last year, you know, there's just going to be some things that are going to take more time and energy that we kind of think, we think this has a place longer term anyway, but we also think this year, in the midst of that, wouldn't it be nice if somebody gives you the calendar, tells you what to do next, creates 2/3 of the material you need, and kind of helps you through that. I'm going to base my calendar this year on running the drive the month of October. You can run this starting in late September. You can delay it as you need to and see fit. The reason I choose October is primarily because it will allow you to be ahead of year end, so that you can seize upon year-end giving in separate messaging from what your stewardship drive was. Too often, I think we end up, the stewardship drive creeps into December for cleanup, and then we never really talk about year-end gifts, and sometimes they happen, sometimes they don't. But 35% of giving in America happens between Thanksgiving Day and the end of the year. And we want to, if we have our way, we want to help congregations be poised to have a really robust end of year giving period where they can message that clearly. And so we'll help you with that messaging. Again, calendar's totally up to you, but my model calendar is October. So for this year. I'll share my screen real quick just to show you the website that we have and how that's set up. So you can see here, oh, I didn't click on the page necessarily. So we've got this is still last year's site. We haven't put this year's videos up yet. If you're looking at the timestamps, just know the videos will be shorter this year. That was one of my major goals. A 13-minute video, I think, is just too long on stewardship. But anyway, so you get access to the videos. They're all posted from the very beginning. They're in post-production right now. And then the document library, all the documents are here. You download them. The inserts are all Word documents. And so you can add your graphic, you can change the wording, you can add wording to it. And in many cases, are places where you need to add wording to tell your own story, but the basis of it is there. So so that's kind of how we interact through the site. So I think I personally had over 100 congregations go through this last year. I'm hopeful for about the same. At the same time, we're not cramming this down people's throats from a marketing perspective. I'll have at least 80, I'm sure, involved, and it could be more. We'll see.
Yeah, I know we had 21
You had a lot.
Here, so
Yeah.
we're hoping to have that many again this year. So
It depends upon how well Patty does at recruitment to determine how many we got total. But
yeah.
And my colleagues probably did another 100. So we had over 200 people go through the program last year.
That's wonderful.
All with pretty similar results.
And we still have some of that money left. That we'll do the same thing we did last year, where they'll pay the upfront check, and then we'll give it back to them if they attend the entire program. So we did that last year. We asked for enough money to cover that for this next year as well. So
yeah, good.
So
it's a pretty good deal. If you show up for the meetings, you get your money back.
or we give you the option of just giving it to the Synod.
Or you can give it back to the Synod as a gift.
Yeah.
But, I'm open to questions. I mean, I could ramble, but I don't want to ramble. I want to answer what's pertinent to you.
So Ashton and Julie, any questions? Fritz, any questions?
Is there a schedule of the 6 sessions?
There will be by early next week. I'm targeting August 16th as the first date. And I will absolutely do a makeup for that one, probably like August 29 or 30. I need just a couple more days to finalize that, and then it will be pre-published well ahead of time, so that you can get dates on the calendar and know what's coming up and everything. And again, there'll be a morning, there'll be an afternoon, there'll be an evening, and there could be additional days added as well. So.
Okay. And then there's 5 more sessions after that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. It looks like 2 in September. Only 1 in October, actually, I think. And then like November 1st. And then the one I haven't quite figured out is, do I do it before Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving?
Yeah. So Mike, do I have it? If you're thinking to use this to get some inspiration for this fall's campaign, it might not line. I mean, are you going to cover enough in the first 2 sessions to equip people to execute in October?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah. And then plus the videos can kind of help you on your own. But yeah, meetings 1 and 2 are all about outcome stories, generosity stories, challenge gifts, crafting the story of what the new money is going to be for. So yeah, we'll get you there.
Okay.
And I get to be careful, not in quite the depth like our other program, Stewardship for All Seasons. We started in May crafting the fall story. So like this is a different level, but we'll get enough that your people will be like, okay, I see why I should give more money next year because we've got more ministry planned and that's what's coming up. Could it be deeper? And yes, it could, but it's a solid, we'll get you to a solid story that people can be invited into.
Now, if they love the program, can they jump into Stewardship for All Seasons? Or is that?
Sort of. So what we're going to, Stewardship for All Seasons, we're kind of changing the way in which we operate it this next year, in that beginning in January, the congregations in Stewardship for All Seasons will jump into an in-depth track. I do have a way that I can invite people into a track who are not in Stewardship for All Seasons. And so we will talk about that as we get into it. So if somebody wants to do a special gift appeal track or a storytelling track or whatever, they can do a 5-month track without having been in the Stewardship for All Seasons cohort. So I've got a couple new things happening that allow me to do that.
Oh, wonderful. That'll be great. Julie and Ashton, did y'all have questions?
No, it's great information. Thank you.
Good.
I think, Mike, I'll go to your website and check out those different tracks that you talk about. I mean, I think we're doing okay with Stewardship. We always have a pretty good team that puts on, we choose a different theme every year and have fun with it. So we've got a pretty good culture, but I think it's always helpful to every once in a while to hear what experts like you are saying. You always pick up some good ideas and say, oh my gosh, how did we miss this or that? Or just more fuel imagination in the tank. So I think that's what we're trying to do with you. And yeah, I'll go to the website. I'm sure I'll learn a lot more about this.
The tracks may not yet be on the website. I just reach out to me and I'll get you the information on the tracks.
Okay. And then Mike, if just trying to think of the right layperson and who's available, are these 6 presentations? I've got this year, I've got a guy from Delta who he works really, really hard, but sometimes his availability is, you never know. But are these sessions available on demand that he could keep pace?
So yeah, so all the videos, the instructional videos, they're there anytime you want them. And then the Zoom sessions, they'll be recorded, and immediately after the session, an email comes to everybody registered with a link to that recording. So if you miss, then that recording's available to you to pick up.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Next day kind of stuff. Great.
I understand that lifestyle. Anything
Ashton said he was good, so he was with everything. So
good, very good. It's
Okay.
a fun program. We keep it relevant. We keep it in tune with what we're learning from all the other people across the country that are at different stages and running things. And what we're learning is we've run capital campaigns in this total virtual environment with people not in present, and so we're learning things, and what can the church tolerate? Like Google Forms are usable now in church. 2 years ago they weren't, but and there's ways to embed that so that you get a solid response on your intent Sunday, things like that. So we'll keep all that in front of you.
That's great.
We had great response last year. So with the congregations that went through it, were really, thought it was very effective and helpful and all that. So
good. Patty, can you say a word on the cost of this and you say there are a couple twists and turns to that package?
The congregations each get a skin in the game by giving us a check for $450. We take care of Mike's fee. We take care of him right up front. What happens with your check is it sits, and then if you have gone through all the 6 sessions and participated, then we give you your check back or make it available to you at the end of the sessions, and you can either donate it to the Synod or you can get it back. A number of congregations took it back because they needed it, and other congregations said, oh, just use it for mission support, so that's up to the congregation what you do. But you get all this wonderful information and get to ask Mike all kinds of questions for 6 weeks for free if you stay, in with the program and participate. So ultimately, it's a gift from the Synod to the congregations of the Synod. So.
All right. Thank you.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah. Yeah. We have 7 congregations isn't it 7 that are in with Stewardship for All Seasons?
I think that's right.
Yeah. And we provided each congregation who did that with 2,000 of the 3,500. So, we try to make it as easy as possible.
I didn't mention, I'll send you 3 copies of my book too if you sign up, so your stewardship team can have this as a resource to jump into.
And that's a good book. So yeah. Did that answer your question, Fritz?
Sure does.
Okay, awesome.
I can talk beekeeping and other stuff if you want, or
The honey is great.
Thank you.
Sounds
Thank
good to
you very
me.
much.
And deadline for signing up is?
do you have a deadline, Patty?
No, I was basically waiting until we had the date, so.
I tell, if you can sign up by August 1st, it'd be fantastic, but honestly, I'll do that second meeting, or I'll repeat meeting 1 probably on August 29. I'd love for you to be in by then, really.
Yeah.
It's decently flexible, but I think August 1st
Yeah.
would be a great date to shoot for to register. And
Yeah, that's what we'll make available.
I've got them coming in already. I mean,
Yeah. And we just let one of you know, either one, Patty or Mike.
let Patty know.
Let me know. Yeah, Michael will help me set it up and we'll be all set. We'll figure that out.
All right.
Great.
Great.
Have a
Thank
good
you for your
day.
time.
Thanks,
Thank
y'all.
you.
Take care.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mike.
Yep.